When I was a kid, I thought that England sounded wonderful compared to America. Like, America seemed like such a backwater to me. Like, England was like the place where I was really supposed to be. That's how I kind of felt as a kid. But over the years, I've come to realize that no, it's really not any better. And soon it's actually going to be worse. Because Prime Minister David Cameron, this fascist fucking cunt right here, is introducing a new law which will punish the possession of rape porn by 3 years in jail. Now, if this law referred strictly to material that, showed actual rape, that might make some semblance of sense. But even if it's a simulation of a fantasy between two consenting adults, two or more consenting adults, that doesn't matter. Even if it's pretend, it's against the law. You could go to jail for 3 years for looking at a pretend depiction of rape. And a lot of people seem to think that this is just something that there's like some really crazy deviant men out there enjoying. But the reality is that a lot of women have this fantasy too. According to Psychology Today, 4 out of 10 women have it. According to North Texas University, 62% of women have it when you call it forced sex, but only 32% of women have it when you call it rape. Here's what the Psychology Today article had to say about this. Fantasies allow us to experience the outer limits of our imaginations safely, with no risk. And for some people, that includes fantasies of coerced sex. In fantasy, everything is permitted and nothing is wrong. Wow! That sounds reasonable. But not according to this fascist fucking dipshit. David Cameron says, these images normalize sexual violence against women. I have no idea what David Cameron actually sounds like, by the way. And they are quite simply poisonous to the young people who see them. Oh my fuck! David Cameron, I would tell you to stuff a dick in your mouth, but you'd probably try to have me arrested just for saying it. So the mentality, I guess, of David Cameron's government is, we are the state, you will now trust us to control your sexuality. You thought that as long as it was, it's between consenting adults and we both like it, we're both into it, it's just us having fun, we both enjoy this, you would think that would, maybe carry some sway with the government, but no, not really. They're just like, nope, it's still evil. Sorry, going to jail. The thing is, this doesn't just cover the simulated rape stuff. This is like any sort of sexual act that can be considered abusive. So, like, BDSM would be covered too. So if you like to spank or be spanked, if you like to humiliate or be humiliated, if you like to torture or be tortured, any of that stuff, it doesn't matter if it's consenting, it doesn't matter if it's between adults, it doesn't matter if it's all pretend or a game, they don't care. They just think you're a piece of shit and you deserve to be in jail. And if you watch porn between two consenting people doing those sort of acts, then also you're a piece of shit and you need to go to jail. You're a bad person. David Cameron says so, don't you know? I wonder if David Cameron is even aware that this is not exclusively a male on female type of thing. There's tons of stuff on the internet that's female on male, male on male, every possible combination of whatever genders and sexualities you could imagine enter into these sorts of scenarios and relationships and what have you, because, lots of different people on this planet and they're all into different things. Go fucking figure. Maybe you should just mind your own fucking business, David Cameron. I mean, this is part of human sexuality. No one's getting hurt that doesn't want to get hurt. How can you possibly think for a second that it's your right or your job to try to control that, to try to tell people, oh, no. You don't understand. We have these morals right? We have these morals and we have this outlook on society that basically it negates what you want to do. And if you think you get a say, you don't because you're a degenerate, okay? So have a nice day. Goodbye. Yeah, really good job representing the interest of your people there, David. I'm sure that this is what the public is clamoring for. In these troubled economic times, everyone's like, we have to stop consenting adults from doing the things they do in their own fucking bedrooms, because think of the children. What if the children see it? I mean, you really want to make people criminals for this? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if this leads to more real rape and real abuse, because you're basically just telling anyone that even has the fantasy in their head that they would never normally act on, you're basically just telling them, no, you're a monster anyway, just because you think it. Just because you even want it for a second. You're a fucking monster, you're a degenerate, you're a piece of shit, we want nothing to do with you. So what kind of mentality is that going to foster? I mean, how is that healthy? If you really want to think of the children, think about the kids that grow up and realize that they're dominants or submissives, or they're into some sort of, they're masochists, they're sadists, whatever. What's going to happen to them when they fucking start to feel those feelings, as some of them will, because guess what? Some people are those things. What happens when those kids start to feel those things and they try to start exploring their own sexuality and they discover that, according to you, they're fucking these horrible monsters? I mean, why don't you fucking lock up Stephen King and George R.R. Martin for all those fictional characters they so brutally murdered? I'd say that I hope David Cameron chokes on a turd, but I wouldn't want any turd to have to suffer the indignity of being in that close proximity to David Cameron. In fact, I actually feel pity for anyone named David or named Cameron, because they have to share a name with this monstrous, reprehensible pile of fucking less than shit. And by the way, banning rape porn has no correlation whatsoever to limiting actual rape. I mean, listen to this quote from Business Insider. Further, the connection between actual real-life violence and porn is blurry at best. India, which bans all forms of porn, has been in the news thanks to a rash of brutal rapes. Meanwhile, in the United States, the incidence of rape declined 85% over a period of 25 years, while access to pornography has increased, the New York Times reported. So anyone who supports this law, fuck you. Unsubscribe. I don't fucking want you, and I wish you nothing but fucking grief. There are plenty of issues that we can come and sit. We want to sit at the table and talk. We want to discuss things. We want to try to figure shit out. We want to figure out how to all interact with each other on this planet and get along despite our differences. That's wonderful and that's fine. But the second that you try to pass a law like this, that basically tries to control human sexuality, that tries to control what consenting adults can do in their own fucking bedrooms or wherever else they can find the privacy to do it, when you try to make a law like that, you're my fucking enemy. You don't approach this problem like, let's try to understand why these people do this stuff. Let's try to understand what's really going on here. That's not your approach at all. You're just like, oh, we don't understand it. It must be evil. We have to get rid of it because the children. The poor, innocent, stupid, brainless fucking children might see it. Little Johnny sees an image on the internet and it rewires his brain completely to the point where he's a degenerate rapist. You know, crouched down in the bushes with a knife, his mouth full of foam, his little fucking cock all hard, thinking about the rapes he's gonna do. You really believe this shit, David Cameron? Like, is this honestly what you fucking believe? You dipshit, you moron. This is why you're trying to infringe on people's rights for this fucking fantasy? This infantile notion that somehow this is creating the problem? And by the fucking way, if you're one of these countless people who know damn well that this is bullshit, but you're not speaking out, you're not saying anything, because you don't want to be seen as defending this sort of material, then you are a pussy, and fuck you too, because you're even worse than that last bunch of assholes, because at least they have the excuse of being misguided. You're just a fucking coward. I'm the Amazing Atheist, defending perversity since 2000 and whatever. Peace the fuck out!